why not sin, right? Why not just go for it? Feels good. It's pleasurable. If consenting, I mean, why not? What's it really going to hurt anybody? It's really a good question, right? Maybe your religious background, you go, oh, why on earth would you ask such questions? It's almost blasphemy, right? Because God said so. God said sin is bad. Okay, get it. That's true. However, that doesn't help answer that question. That doesn't help answer the questions of our heart when we really dig deep down into it. But this passage really helps us understand this. If you start tracing the rabbits down in the hole that this passage tries to tell us, it helps us answer the question, why not just go for it? See, Moses tells the people of Israel this: do not take a created material like gold and silver and wood and then make an image out of a created animal or fish or bird or whatever. Do not make an idol over it. And then if you understand that, but then look at the sun and the moon and the stars and look at them and go, those are awesome, I must worship them. Don't do that. First of all, God showed himself in a fire, a talking fire. So he did not show himself in an image. He is not an image to be grasped. I think this is God's way of telling us, don't put us in a box. Don't put me in a box. I am a person, I am a being to have a relationship with. And these created things are not relatable. But it goes farther than that. See? The gift, the creation is really God's gift to humans, to all of mankind. He gave us a gift, and gifts, the gifts are subject to the giver and to the receiver. Go back to Genesis 1 and 2. Have dominion over all the earth. This earth, this creation, this universe, all of it is a gift to you. Have dominion over it. And actually, when we sin, what we're doing is we are subjecting ourselves. We are worshiping the creation and thus subjecting ourselves to the gift. Say, wait, I don't worship idols and images of stone, gold, and wood. I haven't bowed down to the moon lately. True. Take a look at the Ten Commandments, though. They're taking they're taking different gifts that God gives us and telling us how to utilize this gift in such a way that is enjoyable, that is pleasurable, but does not lead to our own destruction. Sex. Do we have dominion over sex? Or do we bow down to it, subjecting ourselves to it? Money. Do we have dominion over money? Or do we subject ourselves to it? Bow down to it? Education. Do we have dominion over our own education, or do we subject ourselves to it? Do we have dominion over our own image, or do we subject ourselves to it? Do we have dominion over the emotions that God has given us, or do we subject ourselves to the creation? Do we have dominion over our desires and what we long after, or are we subject to the gift that God has given us? None of this is complete prohibition. It is simply placing the gifts that God has given us in the right pecking order. Do we have dominion? Now, the answer is no. Right? The answer is no. None of us have dominion over any of this stuff. Jesus, right? Jesus. Then comes Jesus. Jesus takes the consuming fire that God says, I am a jealous God. I am jealous over your heart. I am a consuming fire. We have worship songs about the consuming fire, but the consuming fire is not a warm fuzzy. Consuming fire is, I will consume anything that is not like me. Jesus absorbs that consuming fire for us, forgives us, and then restores us so that we can now have dominion, freedom over creation. We can now truly put the gift back in its place and allow it to have a place in our life of enjoyment and pleasure, but it's not God anymore. Have you done that? Look, we all struggle with this and making sure that the gift of God is in its proper place in our life. And again, that's where Jesus comes in. Have we and are we relying on Jesus to put the gift of God in its proper place so that we can have dominion over everything that God has given us?